Yeah, great win for our team today against a really good team, really good pitcher. Tough conditions. It's very hot today, but our guys came ready to play just as they did on Monday night, and it's a good performance. Proud of Cade for getting through that. That was not easy. I think everybody that was just watching the game can attest. Watching the game wasn't easy. So toeing the rubber like he did and giving everything he had to every pitch was awesome. And then great performance by Derek, great performance by Josh. Really good job by our entire lineup throughout the game today. And get ready for tomorrow.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Obviously, we have 3 players here, so if you have a question, please address your question to the player you want to ask by calling out their names so we know who you're asking. And with that, we'll open up the floor to questions for the players only.
Derek, moving into John Sokoloff with WGNO, but moving into the 7-hole today, I mean, clearly that didn't faze you at all. Obviously, with the 5 RBIs, what was different about obviously the lineup change for you, and what kind of sparked your bat today, you think?
Yeah, nothing was different, to be honest. I just approached the game how we approach the game all the time, and me personally, whether I'm batting first, second, seventh, just trying to go up there and do my job, and I feel like I executed that well today, and that was just a plan.
To the back left, Michael.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge. Cade, just taking that ball off the arm there, kind of walk us through it, because it looked like you actually got better afterwards, which was a little surprising.
Yeah, I mean, we just got hit, and there's no reason to make an excuse out of it, and I thought that there's no excuse and just keep going.
Cade here in the back. You started 10 games at the box this year, and your team went 10-0. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, confidence in our team, and an outing like today where I gave up a lot of runs, my guys have my back, and I think that's the definition of a true team. When you need to pick someone else up when someone else isn't doing too good. I believe in our guys, and just super proud of them.
Josh, Anna Bradham, LSU Tiger TV. Talk about the process of learning that not only were you going to be in the lineup today, but you were going to be hitting leadoff. What goes into that mentality? How are you preparing for that? And obviously, great performance today. What goes into that actually when you get on to the field?
Yeah, I mean, really nothing changes. Every day I kind of show up to the field as if I would be in the lineup at some part of the lineup. And I mean, showing up today, Coach texted me last night and told me that I'd be in it. So came today ready to go and saw my name was in the leadoff spot, and I knew I had a job to do, and I had to get the job done.
Yeah, Josh, I mean, just to kind of build on that a little bit, and maybe Derek can speak to this as well, just, kind of being in and out of the rotation, not having maybe the consistent amount of starts to begin the postseason, but to be ready for your moment kind of thing. Just what goes into that mindset, and then Derek maybe can speak to just, how impressive and important that is to just have those guys always be ready in those moments.
Yeah, I mean, we have a really deep team this year. I feel like we have guys who will play in the big leagues who don't start every day, and just kind of knowing that, showing up every day ready to go. Like, we have guys who are ready to pinch hit at any point of the game, ready to go in and execute on the mound. And I think that's what makes a great team, is guys like kind of owning their role and whatever their role is for that day, and not bringing like past failure with them into future at bats and stuff like that.
Yeah, super proud of Josh. Josh has been a leader on this team since day one, since I've gotten here. He kind of taught me the ropes, and I look up to him a lot. 2 years ago, last year, watching him on TV, I wanted to be his teammate, I wanted to be his friend, and he's been like a brother to me, so I'm so happy to see him succeed, and I wish nothing but the best for him. And same thing with Larson, same thing with Jake, Ethan Fry. They probably all got spot starts, and some of them are owning their role, and I feel like they've all capitalized on it, and I'm super proud of them. And this is a deep team, and I think it just fuels us, so I'm super happy for all my guys.
So, Cade, Bryce Cohen, Daily Athenaeum. What kind of challenges did the WVU lineup give you today?
I just felt like it wasn't necessarily them. I wasn't commanding the fastball and working off of that as well. Fell into a rhythm for a little bit, but they put up a couple good at-bats, and I don't think it was them. It was just me not making the pitches when I had to.
Cade, you just mentioned the rhythm that you sort of got yourself into, and obviously you got a ton of run support, but there were 2 very long layoffs. Like, how much do you think that sort of affected things and affected your own rhythm?
Yeah, I don't think it affected it at all. I think that as a pitcher, you go through those all the time, and it's how you bounce back from those, and it's a part of what we do.
John Eads, WFB for Josh. There's not a ton of postseason experience on this team, and Coach mentioned that you guys had a meeting after the regionals about the lessons you learned from the regional round. How did y'all implement those lessons into this game, and how will you implement those in whatever's next?
Yeah, I mean, this team does a really good job of taking it one pitch at a time. So, I mean, when we're out there on the field, there's no difference in the game today versus opening day. I mean, it's still baseball. It's the same game we've played our whole entire life. So, I mean, guys just realizing that the moment will never be as big as they make it be, I guess, and just kind of attacking this opportunity. I mean, it's a lot of fun playing in front of 12,000 people every day and just kind of making the most of it.
Over here in the middle, Scott.
Also for Josh, their pitcher, you got obviously the goal is always to get the starting pitcher out of there, but he left kind of earlier than everybody expected. And it was very hot out there. You could attest to that. Were you surprised that you guys got to their bullpen as quickly as you did?
I mean, we did our best to kind of make him work like teams hadn't done all year. Just kind of go out there and make him throw as many pitches as he can every inning. And we knew it would be hot, so we knew we kind of wouldn't go out there every inning if we kept putting his back on the wall. And I mean, we did a really good job of that today and got him out and got to their bullpen early.
Chesset Boucher with NBC 33. Josh, Coach Johnson talks about how you've been so clutch throughout your career here at LSU. This will be your last weekend at the box, hitting the grand slam. What did it mean to you?
I mean, it's been awesome. These have been the most fun 4 years of my life, and I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm gonna miss the box. I'm gonna miss playing in the box, but I mean, we still got one game tomorrow, so gonna make the most of it for sure.
Two more for the players, Michael, and then one here. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Derek, just the plate approach today. You guys seem to be getting on top of the plate, but also being patient, like Josh said. I guess how important was that to kind of have a good approach and see everything coming at you?
Yeah, pitcher was good. Obviously, they're a great team. They're here for a reason, and I feel like we stuck to our plan well today. The hitters, lefties, we got on top of the plate, made them throw it over the plate. The righties did a good job with letting the ball travel. I feel like we just stuck to our plan today, and when we do that, I think we're pretty tough to beat. So hopefully we continue doing that.
Last question here in the middle.
Alex Day, College Baseball Central. Derek, you guys were getting no hit up until your home run. What did you see in that bat? What did you see maybe in your first at bat that maybe you adjusted to in your second?
Yeah, heater in, sliders away, and he threw me two fastballs low and in, took them, and I saw the ball kind of tunneling down, and 2-0, saw the slider pop, and it looked big to me, so I went to go swing at it and put a good swing on it.
All right, Cade, Derek, Josh, congratulations. Thank you for your time this afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Tomorrow. Yep. We might need you back here tomorrow.
That's right.
Tell you what, you come back here tomorrow and you can have it.
Josh.
Thanks for your time. All right, we'll open up the floor now for questions for Coach Johnson.
Hey, Coach, right here, Perry White with On the Yard Network. With a talent field roster, how does one go about managing and finding who's hot, who's not, or trusting in the guy when you least expect it?
Yeah, I think just taking it one day at a time, focus on the game in front of you. I think, our method to how we treat the season helps us in postseason play, as we treat the season like a 56-game playoff. And everybody understands what their job is on a particular day. We try to communicate that well. As far as, choosing, you put a lot of hay in the barn as far as preparing. And I don't have a better explanation for it other than try to get it right. And don't just throw things up on a board, but a lot of time and effort and looking at things. And, when you have good players, it certainly helps.
Back over here, Coach, on the floor.
Yeah, Coach, from June to February, what did you see in Cade that took him from whatever his role was last year to what he is now?
Yeah, I think there's a few things that come to mind. When we lost last year in Chapel Hill, that was a very difficult loss for all of us. And the first thing I noticed, he took that really hard. Like he'd pitched in the game before that we won, didn't pitch in that game, wasn't able to. And he took that hard, and that was the first kind of liked that. I knew he's a great kid and all that, but I kind of liked that. And then he really went to work physically on his body. He's much stronger. He's very lean. He's athletic. I said this, if I let him hit, he would probably be an everyday player for us in first base or in the outfield because he's such a good athlete. But he really worked hard in the weight room, put on some good weight, good strength, continued to be a good mover. So I think that was probably the second thing. And then just how he went about, developing his slider, obviously, is big game changer. And then it's been a constant work in progress to figure out how to use everything. And when he throws all 4 of them for strikes, we can literally do whatever we want. And then I think the special part is just, you just heard him, like, we won. He's happy we won. He's ticked off because he gave up some hits and runs. And those are usually your highest performers, that have that competitive level. And he's got all of it. I mean, there's very few guys that have all of it. He's got all of it.
Coach to the front.
Coach, how much do you think the 2 long innings affected Cade in the later stages of this game?
I mean, knowing what a team guy he is, he said it didn't, so I believe him. I don't think there's a pitcher on the planet in a super regional game wouldn't prefer 13 runs and over 2 innings and a long rest. We kept him moving. We've had long innings this year. When you have a good offense, that happens. But it was hot. I mean, it was hot, and it was a good team. And I think the story is him persevering through that. If it was a regular season game, maybe we would have taken him out a little bit earlier. But, I mean, there's nobody else I want out there and on the mound. And, he gave up some runs there in the 6th and the 7th. But just getting those 2 innings checked off without having to use somebody else become very valuable. Not just in the game today, but, in tomorrow and the rest of the series.
Coach Josh Pearson just always seems to deliver when you call his number. How is he able to do that day in and day out when you ask him?
He's a good player. He's a good hitter. Character, makeup, toughness, raised right, best parents in the world. Will be odd not having him here. I mean, because that's my only guy. I mean, the 4 years together, that's it. He's really dialed into the right things, much like Cade, much like Derek. I mean, the 3 guys that every time I come up here, I find I'm talking about who they are as people as much as players. And he's at the forefront of that. I mean, it's his last go-round here at LSU, and he's had a good season. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's hitting over 300 or right at 300. He has a bunch of homers and kind of in and out of the lineup. And he's always ready when we call his name. He had a good series at South Carolina. He started 2 of those games. He's the best. He's just the best.
In the back, Coach.
You mentioned just what Cade did saving those last couple innings, but how about the 3 guys you rolled out there and how it sets you up still for what's to come?
Yeah, it was good. I thought DJ, very efficient right there. They obviously have a number of left-handed hitters in the lineup, so we may need to utilize him again. So doing it in 2 pitches. I thought it was good to get him back on the mound again after the last appearance. And then I thought William did some good things. And, I mean, I want to get him in these games because he's going to be starting one of them probably, at some point next year. So I thought that was a good experience. Kyle West is a heck of a hitter. I mean, he's a heck of a hitter. So, I wasn't worried about the homer. You want to go get the first guy, when he got him to 2 strikes. And then I thought Maverick was great. I mean, he's continually getting better, and that's great for us.
Coach, right in front of you.
Right on, Coach.
You've changed the lineup a lot the last 2 games. The guys have responded really well to that. You've written a lot of lineup cards in your career. Is that something that's special, the way these guys are able to, whatever their role is, just adjust and produce immediately?
Yeah, I just think it speaks to good players, mental strength, attitude, team over me, understanding their job and what's required of them, and being trained for it. And, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a reason, we don't skip a day of skill work. We literally start the first day of school, when it's 1 billion degrees like it was today. And, develop a process of being a good offensive player. And then you have guys for a couple years or 4 years like Josh, and they're always ready and prepared. And, it's happened a couple other times. Griffin Kern is good. He's really good, and not many teams have done much with him this year. And so we really had to be on it, both from how we aligned it and then the execution of the players. And it was a good day for the offense today.
Back left, Coach, for you right here.
Hey, Coach, you guys had 8 hits, 16 runs, obviously a couple big hits in there. What did you see from your guys in those big at-bats in their approach?
Yeah, I thought maybe the first inning it was a little fast, but again, good pitcher, 100 strikeouts, low ERA, less hits than innings pitched, deceptive, has a unique style and how he does it. And then I thought the second inning, the bats got a little bit better. I think, we only swung like 4 times in the second inning, and the pitch count was up to like 28. So I thought that was good. And then they just progressively got a little bit better. And we were, even though we didn't have any hits, we were pressuring them with pitch count and long counts and 3 balls and 3-2, all of those types of things. And, I mean, I don't know how you guys felt holding a camera when it was 1,000,000,000 degrees out there, but I'm sure standing on the middle of the pitcher's mound wasn't all that comfortable. And, I think maybe he ran out of gas a little bit, so he lost his command. But, good for us. Sometimes when you're facing a good guy, you got to hope he's off a little bit. And, tough environment, just like I said. That's why it's amazing what Cade did today, to stay out there for 7 innings and 100-plus pitches and execute well and give our team a chance to win.
Back right, Coach, over here.
Hey, Jay. Corey Diaz with the USA Today Network and the Daily Advertiser. Last weekend, you had that first chance to close the door and get to supers. You had to play the if necessary. From a mindset and approach perspective, what do you hope's different about the team when they get to the ball field tomorrow, so you guys can get this in a sweep instead of having to play the third game?
Well, they want to win it. They want to do it, and doesn't mean they didn't want to win it or do it last week either. I think we'll be in a good position to get some rest tonight. Use the football facility to get recovered, reset, get body temperatures down, hydrate, get a good night's rest, coaching staff go to work. There's some things that I feel like I learned in the game today that we need to make some movement on, to be better prepared for tomorrow. So use that time well, but this isn't about like motivation at this point in time. This is purely about mindset and execution.
Glenn?
Jay, was Cade hurt at all when he got hit in the arm? Was there any swelling, or was he in any pain right off?
Yeah, he was okay. He just wanted to throw a couple. I mean, it stung him pretty square on the forearm. And that's why I stayed out there and stood behind the mound to see how the ball was coming out, and quickly turned and looked at the gun and looked normal for a warm-up pitch. And he's okay. That was in the second inning, I believe. So to go 6 after that, he's good.
And you made some changes because of the left-hander. Have you made a dramatic change like that before, putting Curiel all the way down to 7? Just with some of the background on the batting order changes.
Yeah, he's not hit 7th this year. That's for sure. It just, in a game like this, against a pitcher like that, he's very different than what we have seen, even relative to left-handers and SEC left-handers. And I just think the guys really did a good job of what they needed to do. I don't even really think it had a lot to do with shuffling the deck and the order, but he had an excellent performance today. You really have to stay in there on him, the way he steps and where he delivers the ball. It's almost completely out of the batter's eye. So he can be really, really tough on lefties, but he executed it perfectly. He kept his feet in there and got hit by a pitch on the first one and stayed on that slider and hit a bullet out of here. Like, that's impressive to be able to do that. So he did what he needed to do, and like I said, I think it's more about the players executing than anything else.
Last 2 questions for Coach, right here in the front, and one more up here.
Coach, Matt Miguez with ESPN Southwest Louisiana. Going back to the 16 runs on 8 hits, you guys also drew 8 walks and had 5 hit batters. Can you talk about your offense making the most of whatever opportunities present themselves?
Yeah, I thought it was a complete performance. Again, the hits didn't come in the first few innings, but we made the pitcher work, and that was really important today, especially when we have a really good pitcher going. And he had some really good innings there in the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th where, I mean, their pitcher didn't get a chance to sit down. Like, they had to go right back out there. So I think those free bases helped. And then we set the table with 2 hit by pitches. Both of those were with 2 strikes, so that was really important. And then Derek executed his plan very, very well. And then the next inning, we really got going. And, you know, the free bases are part of that. It's like turnovers in football. You want to capitalize on them, and we certainly did today.
Last question, Coach, right here to your left.
Coach Kern wasn't afraid to throw the ball inside today, 3 hit by pitches. So how much did you know that heading into this game, and was the lineup sort of constructed to sort of take advantage of that tendency, I guess?
Well, he's a good pitcher. Throws to both sides of the plate, changes speeds, has deception in his delivery. You're not going to be able to cover everything, so to speak. But I thought our guys just did a good job of – I thought we were a little – want to go get it, want to make something happen in the first inning. But after that, I thought they just did a really good job of swinging at pitches they could hit hard, taking the ones they couldn't, battling when they got deep in the count, and were fortunate enough to push his pitch count up. But, you know, probably see him again. I mean, they brought him back on 1 day's rest last week. So he was one of those guys that probably has a rubber arm. He's a great competitor, obviously. And so hopefully we learned something today.
Coach, as always, we thank you for your time. Thank you, everybody. Again,
Thank you.